Shabbat Shalom. This is Rabbi Malik from Temple Beth Am in Aberdeen, New Jersey. Today is the 27th of Sivan. It is also June 19th, known as Juneteenth, a holiday that has been celebrated in Black communities in America since 1866. In Parashat Beha'alotcha, last week's Torah reading, we read about the wife of Moshe Rabbeinu, our great leader and teacher, Moses. In other Torah portions, Moshe's wife is known as Tzipporah. In Parashat Beha'alotcha, she is referred to as Ha'isha HaKushit, the Cushite woman, a woman of color. The holiday of Juneteenth commemorates the liberation of all people of color in America, also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, and Liberation Day. This holiday commemorates the public reading by Union Army General Gordon Granger of federal orders in the city of Galveston, Texas on June 19, 1865, proclaiming that all slaves in Texas were now free. Although the Emancipation Proclamation had formally freed the slaves almost 2.5 years earlier, Texas was the most remote of the slave states with a very low presence of Union troops, so enforcement of the proclamation had been slow and inconsistent. Also, as we all know, it often takes years after a formal act of legislation for American culture and people's actual attitudes, perceptions, and behaviors to change. Juneteenth traditions include public readings of the Emancipation Proclamation, as well as singing songs such as Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and Lift Every Voice and Sing. In some communities, there are also readings of works by noted African American writers. The following quote by John Albuquerque is on the Juneteenth.com website. He writes, "Let's make Juneteenth a commemoration, not of the horrific institution our country embraced, but rather as a showcase of the strength in the American spirit to recognize wrong and set about making it right. In this same spirit, America moves ahead today, striving towards the achievement of ever greater equality. Let us celebrate all that Juneteenth teaches us about our country's greatness in our use of the heart to hear and to learn and to work together for all that is good and just." These words are reminiscent of words from our Siddur, from the Ahava Rabbah blessing that is recited every morning before the Shema. In Ahava Rabbah, we say, "V'tem b'libenu lahavin, lahaskil, lishmoa, lilmod, ulelamed, lishmor v'la'asot." We ask God to instill in our hearts the ability to understand, to discern, to hear, to learn, to teach, and to do. Juneteenth is a time for doing and for understanding. It is a day for celebrating the education and achievement of Black Americans. It is a day for assessment, reflection, self-improvement, and for planning a better future. In cities across the country, people of all races, nationalities, and religions are joining hands today to truthfully acknowledge a period in our history that shaped and continues to influence our society today. Sensitized to the conditions and experiences of others, only then can we make significant and lasting improvements in our society. I want to conclude my remarks today with some excerpts from a Haggadah by the organization Jews for Racial and Economic Justice. It was written by Jews of color. For Black Americans to be able to celebrate and settle into their joy and freedom is an act of profound bravery, given the incredible vulnerability of their life in this country. What did it mean for Blacks to be free in Texas in 1865? What did freedom mean for Eric Garner in Staten Island, New York in 2014? What did it mean for George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2020? Black freedom is a tenuous thing, beautiful and powerful, strong and vulnerable. It can be snatched away in an instant. It is sustained by continual acts of resilience, resistance, and care. The liberation of African Americans, like the redemption of our Jewish ancestors from slavery, is not something that happened once in the past. It is something that must be recreated again and again through action and imagination. Freedom is something that we make together. I would like to recommend that when you say Kiddush tonight, that may we all raise a glass to all those who have fought for the collective freedom and liberation of Black Americans, including Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, two historic figures who were both born into slavery and became abolitionist activists. May their commitment and their achievements serve as an inspiration to members of the Black community in America, as well as to all of us who value freedom. Ken Yehi Ratzon, V'nomar. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.